Let's look at another example for floats, and this is sort of the layout we want to create. So what we're going to do here is looking at this, thinking about semantics. To me, this looks like a description list. So the names of the planets here would be DT elements, and then this sort of descriptions over here would be DD elements. And that's sort of, I think, the most semantic element we could use for this. So I'm going to copy this text here. Let's go to the editor, and let's paste the text in here and start wrapping it in the elements we want. So these ones here, the planets we want to wrap in DT tags. So we're going to go DT, and like that, and then we want these other ones to be DT, DDs, like that. And then the whole thing, of course, needs to be wrapped in the DL element. So there we go. So there is probably the most semantic tech or semantic code we could use for this situation. So let's go into the browser and look at this. So this is what it looks like right now. It doesn't really look the way we want at all. What we want is we want to have the DD elements beside the DT elements. So let's go to our CSS. Let's target our DT elements here. And I notice we want them bold, so let's make them bold. All right. And then if you look back in the browser, you can see that the DD elements have some padding or something on them. So let's just inspect this here. And you can see they have margins on them. So let's get rid of those margins. So we'll say margin 0. Okay, let's go back to the browser. There we go. So we have gotten rid of the margins. We have a little bit closer to what we want. The next thing we want to do is get them up beside each other. Now we could use display inline in this situation, but then we might end up having Neptune up on this line here. And if Neptune was on the line above, then we could never get it down using display inline. So this is probably a good time to use floats. So let's go in here and let's float both of these to the left. Float left. Okay, so there we go. So if you look just at one planet at a time here, you can see that the Mercury one looks pretty close to what we want, but Neptune is up beside it here. So because there's enough space in the browser, you can see that Neptune can fit up beside, which is not really what we're looking for. But what we can do now is we can use clear. So we know that we want the DTs to go onto their own line, so underneath the line above that has been floated, and we want the DDs to be beside other floated things. So if we just target the DTs now and say clear left, because we won't only want them to go under things that are floated left, we'll have the look that we're going for. The only thing we need to do is just some minor adjustments. You can see the dashes are not sort of even. So let's go into our code here and let's just put a margin on the right of the DT. I don't know, 0.4em. See how that looks. There we go. So what we did is we floated the DTs and the DDs, and then we told the DTs to clear other floats. So that puts them on their own line the way we want, just like this. So that's a little trick we can use with floating and clearing. You can use float and clear on the same element to produce sort of the look that you're looking for.